Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to Phantom.Strategies. So today is July 25th. It's about 4:30 p.m. Eastern here in US. I want to bring you an update for Bitcoin. We have been in the strong rally for last week and a half now, and we are coming to the pullback point. I have mentioned that in the previous video as well, so I want to bring you an update on that and what might be a few scenarios going into this weekend and ending the month of July. Okay, so before I get it started, if you're new to the channel, please make sure you're subscribed to the channel, hit the notification and the bell icon so you can get this content right away. I have said it plenty of time on this channel that we are in a very dynamic market. This crypto market is very dynamic, and what was relevant a few weeks ago or a month ago might not be relevant anymore. So we are constantly changing and constantly adapting, and we need to make sure that we are keeping that pace with this market. So please make sure that you're always managing your portfolio, checking your coins and all that good stuff. All right. So let's get it started with Bitcoin. It's trading at around 8,130 right now. In the previous video, if you go back to the video library in the channel, in the previous video I made a video that it's coming to that resistance point where we are getting into that overbought territory for a short term. All right, overbought territory for a short term. What does that mean? That means that we had a nice rally in a week and a half where we have been in a nice uptrend, but it's still where same thing was applying in the downtrend, where the sellers were drying up, they were getting tired, and they were having a harder time pushing down, further down. We are still, it's the same concept applies where we are in the strong uptrend right now. The volume has significantly picked up, and we are in a strong uptrend right now, but it needs a breather. It needs some time to digest all the gains we had in few weeks. All right, so that is what I'm referring when I say we are coming to a short-term resistance. And short-term resistance simply means is we have to have a pullback where people who are doing some sell-off, and usually happens during at the previous resistance point, where previous resistance point that were acting as a support, now they will act as a resistance. So keep that in mind. And the number that I was talking about was around 8,200. We went there a little bit yesterday and had a pullback. And the second thing that we're coming up against is the 200-day moving average. So if we can cross this 200-day moving average, that will be extremely bullish, especially for the technical analysis and a lot of the trading algorithms that will signal that we are getting out of the short-term down channel, and we might have a nice momentum going on to perhaps 10,000 and 11,000, 12,000 mark in month of August and September. Second thing, I have said it in in month of July that the volume will start picking up, and if you see this in month of July, in the second half of the July, the volume have increased significantly compared to the May and June month where volume was dipping. You will see this orange line that was dipping. That's the average volume that was dipping in month of May and June. That will systematically will start picking up in July, August, September. That's it's a very cyclical pattern for any if you trade commodities, if you trade trading in stock market. Usually I have said it a lot of professional traders, they're going on vacation during May and June time frame, but they're coming back in July, August, and you will see that volume to pick up. That is very expected, and that's exactly what's going on. So for intermediate 200-day moving average also will be the resistance. I also want to bring up a CNBC fast money comments on why we had this rally. So I was just going through some videos and I came across this video where CNBC fast money is talking about this recent rally and what is it related to, what are some of the signs that why we are having this rally. So I want to also bring that up in this video, and I will shortly start that video for you, and you can see it yourself and comment on that. But let me just give you some pointers right now for the resistance. So 200-day moving average, that will be the intermediate resistance, and then the next level of resistance will be at 9,000 level. Okay, so next level 9,000, that will be a big hurdle that we need to clear. As far as the pullback goes, as long as we stay over this trend line, this the pink trend line, which is right, it will come around 7,800. I remain bullish in Bitcoin, and I will be more optimistic as long we stay over this trend line. Now, I want to just reiterate, let's not get too comfortable with everything that is going on in the market. Let's not forget that we were a few weeks ago, people were calling and making the calls and Bitcoin is going at 3,000, 2,000. So let's not do the same thing that, hey, Bitcoin is going to 11,000, 12,000. Let's evaluate the situation. Market will do what market wants to do, so let's respect those facts, and let's not let's not get ahead of ourselves. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so keep this trend line, which is a resistance line, I should say that it's going to be around 7,800. We want to make sure the price action remains over that. Okay, let me start this video which I was telling you about. So on the Fast Money, they typically cover Bitcoin pretty regularly, and they were talking about this recent rally and the reason behind this rally. So let me just start this video. I will play it for a couple of minutes so you can, if you haven't seen it, you can kind of quickly see what are their reasoning behind it for this rally.
Our crypto baller BK hopes so. He's made his way over to the plaza to give us his latest bull case. Beaks.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely hope so. And I also hope there's an ETF. But I'm with Bob on this. I think the chances of an ETF in 2018 are relatively low. There's still quite a few things. But that doesn't stop speculation on that. And that's one reason why we've seen this bottoming process here from 5,800 all the way up here. Number two, institutions are starting to get serious. I can tell you from the calls that I'm getting, people that looked at it in December, didn't like the price, are coming back now and saying, all right, this thing is not going away. We need to understand what it is. Where does this asset class fit into our portfolio? And this weekend you saw a report that Coinbase has potentially secured a $20 billion hedge fund for their custody service. So then number three, what are the institutions seeing? Web 3.0 is here. And you ask BK, well, what's Web 3.0? Why do I even care, and how does Bitcoin fit in? Guess what? BK's got a chart for you here. So let's take a look at the next chart here. This outlines the different types of, let me just erase this here, the different types of web. So we had Web 1.0. That was the very beginning. That was basically like a big global library. Everything that were in books got dumped into a giant database we call the internet. Then we had Web 2.0. Companies like Google, Facebook, Twitter, they gave you a global publishing platform. You now could create content and put it into that giant database we call the internet. And here we are in Web 3.0. And what we're doing is we're moving from a database to a data bank. And what does that mean? The data that is in the internet is valuable. We found that out. Look at Google's earnings. You think they earned that off of just selling ads? They earned it because there's data there. They're selling data and they're monetizing it via ads. Web 3.0 is the new internet, an improved internet where that data can be monetized. How do you send something of value across an open network like the internet? With a cryptocurrency. And that is exactly why institutions are starting to get into this. They're seeing how this fits into a portfolio of Web 3.0 stocks.
BK, I totally agree with Web 3.0, but I'm also a trader, and I feel like the reason Bitcoin is higher is because people are more comfortable buying at 7,800 than they are at 6,000, and they'll probably be more comfortable at 10,000.
It's a very reflexive market, very similar to gold, right? The more valuable it becomes, the more valuable it becomes. And that's very true for Bitcoin, for gold, and for other currencies.
Okay, so I just wanted to bring that up. CNBC, why Fast Money usually cover Bitcoins pretty regularly, and this is one of the reasons they think that this is why we are getting this rally, and it has some truth behind it. Web 3.0 is here, internet is constantly evolving. Okay, internet, what it was 20 years ago is completely different than what is today. Even it's different how it was like 7 to 10 years ago. So it's constantly evolving. And you know, the money, there's Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. You know, we are in a very infant stage. I have said it plenty of times. This is really in the infant stage, and you will see, like, you know, how this is very, like, you'll see how internet was back in the 90s. That's the trend that cryptocurrency right now they are in. You know, they are very in the early stage, and there's a lot of things that will get evolved, a lot of things that will be, there will be lesson learned. So it is still in the early stage, but that's where you have very high risk, high reward type of scenarios and situation. So you know that there are high risk involved in it. At the same time, you know there are high reward. So you should always be, like, you know, mindful of those situations. It's not all like green. It's not all rosy. It's not like, you know, it's you will have to you know, you will have to adapt. You will have to learn. You cannot just simply, you know, throw the money at it and expect it to, you know, just grow. Okay, so hopefully you are, like, you know, learning, and the purpose of this channel is also to give you technical aspect on how to trade Bitcoin or any their altcoins, because a lot of the trading that is happening in crypto market is based on the technical analysis, based on the technical trading. Because there is no, like, earning report or anything like that in the crypto. So you know, the traders, the investors, they rely on the charts very, very heavily. So you have to like respect that fact, and you have to, you know, you have to learn how to trade based on that. Okay, so please make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you're learning something from this, please give me a thumbs up, and you know, I will create more content. Hopefully, you know, that will give you some clue and how to do your future trading, and like keep you interested in technical analysis as well. Talk to you soon.